What's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the FCS Dynasty here on NCAA Football 2006, and we got a great episode in store for you guys today. We got the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs here, where 8 teams will be narrowed down to 4, and we're going to watch all that playoff action here in this episode here today. So guys, this is going to be a good one. Make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel, as well as we will jump right into it. First game of the episode, we got number 8 Montana taking on the number 1 overall seed in this FCS playoffs tournament. We got San Diego State with that 1 seed, undefeated as well. We'll see if Montana can play spoiler as Derek Keefe. He's going to throw a nice missile out to the perimeter and finds Mr. Neely. How about that? Montana going to strike first here in this ball game, as the Grizzlies are going to get up early here. 7-0 lead is now. We got a 1 possession lead for the Grizzlies early, and that defense has absolutely came to play early, really making Andy Mosley really giving himself a difficult day so far. And the Aztecs are going to have to go ahead and punt this football away, and not a lot of hang time on that punt, so it is ending up being returnable as Tony Gantz, he's going to take this down the sideline, and he's going to be gone like a girl in a country song. Touchdown, Montana. And a 14-0 lead here early, as the Aztecs in this ball game, they are going to be put on the ropes here in the Cotton Bowl, one of the many neutral sites for this year's FCS playoffs. As now 3rd and long for Mosley and company, needing a big play but just can't get it, as Aaron Butler is going to get his 4th sack of the day, and that's going to make it 14-0 in favor of the Grizzlies, as it's been a phenomenal start here so far for Montana, and it's only going to get better. How about that one-on-one coverage down the middle of the field? Derek Keefe, he put his faith into his receivers, and his receivers were able to come down and, help a brother out, man. Touchdown grab, got a little bit of a Moss moment right there. And it's going to be 21-0 now, as the Aztecs, they are in some serious trouble now. Number 1 seed, and they're getting that straight to the gut. They're getting their best shot for sure, as Andy Mosley is going to be able to complete a really big pass downfield that will at least get him over 3,000 passing yards on the season. We'll see if he can build off of that as he looks down the right-hand side and finds his receiver, who's going to take it all the way down. So it looks like inside the 5-yard line, a 41-yard reception for Troy Walton, who's able to nearly win that foot race, but not quite. So a chance for the Aztecs to finally get into the end zone. Mosley rolling to his right, but he's going to be intercepted in the end zone. That's Ricky Thomas with the 3rd interception of this season. And that was absolutely huge, because that stopped the Aztecs from getting any points on that drive, and they're also going to get a interception on the very next possession as well. This time the safety, Michael Estes. So Montana looking great on both sides of the football. They can build off of this, as Derek Keefe, he froze off his back foot and threw across his body. And that is going to be an easy interception for the Aztecs. And we will go ahead and see if that is enough to possibly go ahead and, finally get the Aztecs on the scoreboard. But Montana are just making things incredibly difficult right now, as Adam Campbell is able to fire out of there like a cannon. And now 3rd down coming for San Diego State, as Mosley lines up under center. He's going to drop back to pass. Looking, tries to step up in the pocket, but it's yet another sack. Same guy, Campbell. 2nd sack on this drive. and it forces the Aztecs to settle for a field goal. So that time starting in really good field position there, but just couldn't do anything with it. But this running back does. 63 yards, touchdown for Montana. And it's a massive lead being built up in here in the first half. It's now a 25-point lead. Similar start to what we saw with the very first game that they played in their second round matchup against Rice, who came in as the number 9 seed. But the fact that they're doing it to the number 1 team in America right now, that is absolutely insane right now. I mean, Mosley, he doesn't know what to do. He is getting absolutely manhandled. His offensive line is not providing any favors right now either. And it's just been a really difficult day so far. As Tony Gant, he's going to find some space. Hang on now. Do we have some Houdini? Yes, we do. Let's go. Touchdown, Montana. And the Grizzlies, 35-3 lead there. In desperate trouble for the Aztecs. They desperately need a spark. Something to feel good about themselves right now before going into the halftime locker room. This could be the one, as we see the special teams get involved, and that's how the Aztecs are going to get their very first touchdown of this ball game. 35-10. Let's go, man. So that will at least provide a little bit of confidence, but they got to find a way to stop this passing attack, because right now, Derek Keefe, man, he is doing his thing. 226 yards passing on the day so far. Another big gain that's going to get Montana into the red zone, as we have 1st and 10 from the 16. Play action. Rolling out to the left. Trying to throw it. I'm assuming he was trying to throw it over the middle. It gets intercepted. And look at this. We might have a pick 6 here, as none of the Montana guys can catch up, as San Diego State, they draw a little bit closer now. That ends up being a 97-yard return, which we saw in that interception, man. So great job there by the defense to help trying to get him back into this game a little bit. We'll see if Montana has a response now as they face another long 3rd down. This time 3rd and 15. And Keefe looking over the middle of the field and finds a receiver. Derek Keefe was going to be hit as he threw his football, but nice job there to hang in the pocket and deliver an absolute strike there, as it sets up yet another red zone opportunity. It hasn't been automatic, though, over the course of the year, as Derek Keefe gets absolutely lit up like a Christmas tree there, and that is going to bring them back a few yards. Just absolutely getting kamikaze there. Looks like a linebacker getting free on the blitz. As now, a few plays later, got a 3rd and goal. Keefe trying to throw it, but he's going to fumble the football. And San Diego State, they are going to recover it. 3rd turnover today for Montana, as they're trying to do what they can to get San Diego State back into this game. But lucky for the Grizzlies, they cannot take advantage. So it does remain a free possession game for right now, as Michael Stone, he's going to be screaming downfield and making a nice catch. As now, 2nd and 12 coming on a couple plays later. Keefe rolls out to the left. He's got some time, but that clock is quickly running out, though, as huge sack there towards the end of the 3rd quarter. We do go into the final quarter of play, 35-17. So we start with this 4th quarter action. Keefe with a 3rd and 17. He's going to go for the 1st down, though. And Michael Stone is going to somehow come down with this. This was incredible coverage by the secondary. That ball just could not be placed any better than what we just witnessed right there. But we'll see if they can capitalize off it. 0 for 2 in red zone opportunities. And that will get the monkey off their back. Another red zone score, another touchdown for Montana there. It's going to be 42-17. The fact that they did this to the number 1 team in college football down here at the FCS level, and San Diego State going to be bounced early in this one. They are going to be removed from the playoffs, as Montana is going to punch their ticket now to the FCS semifinals, as they will go ahead and await the winner of the matchup between the Kent State Golden Flashes, who have been the biggest Cinderella in this tournament so far, and UNLV, who's the 5 seed. In the meantime, though, Montana, they are certainly going to celebrate this massive victory. So speaking of Cinderellas, let's go ahead and see how Cinderella is handling the big dance right now, as Kent State, number 20 seed. They were not even the home team in the first round matchup. They go up against UNLV. They are the home team. They got that first round bye. And while it wasn't a very convincing victory necessarily, they still took care of business against SMU overall. They get this date into the quarterfinals. So we'll see if Kent State has some magic, as they got to go up against Nick Moses, who has a knack for finding the end zone. 18 total touchdowns on the season so far. That is up there in terms of all rushers in the NCAA. As Tyrone Williams, he's going to start by actually throwing this into coverage, and it is going to be picked off by Michael Hawkins, who takes it all the way inside the 5-yard line, as it ends up being a bad snap. So not as much time reading the coverage as maybe he would have enjoyed if there was actually a decent snap. As UNLV, they're going to jump out to a quick lead here, 13-0, after we do see the extra point get drilled right down the middle. But then we see Kent State go to work. 25 seconds left here in the first half. We see a punt return that Kent State desperately needs. You know, they haven't been able to move the ball downfield the entire first half, and this man is all by himself right now, and it's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Flashes there. And now 13-7 game, as now we see Kent State suddenly take the lead here in the second half. Cinderella trying to dance just a little bit longer, and it's a 1-point lead, as we've got a 1st and 10. Gonna see if UNLV can rally on back, but you gotta take care of the football though, and Kent State is going to recover it. Just a huge lapse of judgment right there, as he refused to go down. He wanted those extra yards. It didn't happen. So let's go. 1st and 10. Final play of the third quarter here, as the tailback, he's going to take the pitch out to the left-hand side. And before this third quarter is going to be over, Kent State, they get another touchdown on board, and that's going to make it a 2-possession game. Things are looking good for the Golden Flashes right now, as we need to see a desperate comeback from UNLV if they want to stay alive in this tournament. Hall looking down the sideline, but it's going to be overthrown, unfortunately, and the safety is going to be able to take advantage of the inerrant throw. And now Kent State in a true position to lock things up. They can start taking a little bit of time off the clock, make sure that there isn't enough for these Rebels to suddenly rally back, and they do for the most part get it to under 2 minutes, but they can't stop this team forever. Nick Moses, he's going to find the end zone. 19th touchdown on the season for the senior tailback. But that does mean, though, that they have to go for the onside kick. Less than 2 minutes left to go. If they don't get this, they are likely not going to be able to get it back. And sure enough, Kent State is going to recover there. And that just might do it. Kent State is going to keep dancing in this tournament. The 20 seed, they are moving on to the semifinals. They will take on Montana in the very next episode. Wow, absolutely stunning right there, as UNLV also going, well, not necessarily bounced early. They weren't expected to make it to the semifinals, but they had the opportunity right in front of them, and unfortunately, they did end up fumbling the bag, as they will no longer be looking for that FCS national championship here in year number 1. So apparently this is the year of the upset, as we've seen a lot of chaos unfold here in this FCS playoff so far. We'll see if that continues here, as we saw James Madison in the last episode. They pulled a stunning upset off against Temple, who was the number 2 seed in this tournament. And now they got to go up against the 7th-seeded Utah State Aggies here, who arguably one of the most hottest teams in college football right now. They're riding a 10-game winning streak going into this game. And we'll see if they can extend it to 11, or will it be James Madison that's going to be punching their ticket into the FCS semifinals. As now, we're going to see Utah State with the football first. Murphy, he's going to roll out to the right. He's going to get a big play downfield there. And Eddie Murphy, he is feeling himself early in this one. He's going to get 3 consecutive completions on the very first drive of the game. You know, get himself into a groove, and that's the last thing that you want to do. You do not want to allow an impact player, particularly if that impact player being at the quarterback position. As we see Utah State, they are going to strike first here early in this ball game as they march right down the field, and they will open this game up with a opening drive touchdown. James Madison, they're going to find themselves down 7-0, and they got to go up against one of the best defenses in college football. Top 5 defense as of right now, averaging less than 250 yards total offense per game. And Kenny Raymer finding out real quick just how good this defense is. As first possession for the Dukes, Kenny Raymer is going to throw an interception, and Utah State, they're going to capitalize off that turnover and turn that into a field goal. But good win by the James Madison defense, though, able to force that field goal, let them go free and out. Could have been a lot worse, as Maurice Gray is going to get this team going a little bit, but he fumbles it. Oh, that was going to be an excellent return for Maurice Gray there, who has far more kick return yards than he actually has receiving yards. That's the crazy thing about it. And unfortunately, he let his team down there with a early turnover. That Utah State going to capitalize there once again. And listen, James Madison, Kenny Raymer and company, they got to get it going. What kind of adjustments can Coach Montano make to help his guys get right back into his game? We'll see if it helps, as Montano going play action. Is going to roll to the right. He's going to look downfield, trying to get it out to Maurice Gray. But that is going to be intercepted as well. Just a disaster of a start for the Dukes, as they just look completely outmatched in this ball game early. And the thing is, Utah State's similar talent than what, you know, the Temple team has, and it just hasn't gone their way so far. As look at this, it just keeps getting worse. Like, how, my guy? How do you let it be like this? You muff the football, you can't find it, and it sets up great field position again for Utah State Aggies. And it's going to be barbecue chicken when you let this team get into that kind of field position off a turnover. They're going to cash in off of that. Yet another touchdown for the Aggies. And now Kenny Raymer in a desperate spot, down 24-0 already. Needs to perform at his very best if they want to get the comeback. Raymer under center, gonna go hand it off. No, it's a play fake. Looking downfield, he's looking for his man, and he finds Maurice Gray. And that is going to be the 47th passing touchdown of the season for Kenny Raymer. That is number 1 at the FCS level. Let's go, man. You love to see it for Kenny Raymer. They do attempt a 2-point conversion, and that will not be converted. So they do only get 6 points out of that possession. But hey, they do at the very least get that goose egg off the scoreboard. 24-6 game. As look at this. That return man was bottled up for a second, but nobody bothers to wrap him up. And he was actually able to find his way eventually out of all of that traffic, all of that trouble. So Utah State, they notch another touchdown, and it's starting to become desperation time when you're trying a fake punt. And that punter didn't even try to get rid of the football. I'm not even sure what he was planning on doing. And there might have been someone open downfield. You never know, but yeah, it just seems like James Madison just didn't bring it today. I don't know if it's just because, a little bit of a hangover from their big win against Temple or what's going on, but this is not the same team that we saw look sharp as it did in the second round. This is something that's been completely surprising. And look, I didn't expect it to be, a foregone conclusion that James Madison was going to win the game, right? Like, I expect it to be competitive at the very least, and it just simply has not been that so far. As Utah State, they are going to notch yet another touchdown on the board right now. 45-6. Are you kidding me? I don't think I've ever seen James Madison really this thoroughly embarrassed as what we're seeing right now, as Raymer just trying to get literally anything going, as he does find his receiver, does get that play to go, as that will get him into Utah State territory. So at least there's that. Maybe they can build off of this a little bit. As now 3rd and 6, Raymer under shotgun, gonna drop back to pass. No surprises there, but his offensive line giving out on him, as Terry Porter gonna get his first sack of the game here, as James Madison, they're getting manhandled up front. Raymer does not have the time. And Brian McMillan, man, he's a guy that hasn't punted the football very much at all. Here's a guy that has gone only punted football twice. This is going to be his 3rd punt in this game, as we see a fair catch here. But yet, look at this. The guy fields it before going out of bounds, runs into the end zone. So James Madison gets a safety off of that. Just a boneheaded decision. Luckily, they aren't going to regret it too much, as next James Madison possession got a fumble, and it does end up getting returned for a touchdown. 5 turnovers for James Madison today. That is not going to be good enough to win a football game, especially going to the semifinals. This is for a semifinal berth, mind you. And Utah State completely dominating in this ball game. They're going to get the 50-burger on the board, and they're going to end up winning by a final score of 62-15. We'll see what they play in the semifinals. So the final game in this episode that we got going on for quarterfinals action, we got number 14 Eastern Michigan taking on the number 6 ranked North Texas Mean Green. And North Texas is a team, they did what they needed to do against Georgia Southern. Defense played outstanding. Whereas Eastern Michigan in the previous episode, they were in an absolute shootout between the two of the best players, the top 2 guys that were, projected to win that Heisman Trophy at the end of the season. They beat Eastern Carolina by a couple of points. But the Eagles are going to have to find a way to stop Ivan Jenkins, as Ivan Jenkins, he is a certified bad man for sure. As we'll go ahead and get things underway, trying to set up the screen early there in the red zone, and yet it gets picked off by Ronnie Henley, who read the screen extremely well and took advantage of it, stops the screenplay, and also gets the turnover. So the score will remain 0 apiece here. Still have not seen any scoring yet, but Eastern Michigan getting a couple of opportunities though, as Timmy Rollins is going to be intercepted here once again, this time by Jimmy Carter, who gets his first INT of the evening. And so, still all knotted up, 0 apiece, still waiting for that first score. Are we gonna finally see it here? Rollins, end zone, he's gonna get him, and he's gonna run this thing into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. A 44-yard touchdown is finally going to break the seal off of the scoreboard there, and that right there is going to give Eastern Michigan a 7-0 lead. But Ivan Jenkins, he was going to eventually find some holes in the defense. He also going to find the end zone as well. 53-yard rush. Nobody even touches him. That's simply too easy for a running back that's as talented as what Ivan Jenkins is. As now, few field goals later, Eastern Michigan does end up getting the lead. But look at Timmy Rollins, man. Gonna call his own number by the goal line. Breaks one tackle, stiffs arms a second into the next dimension. 20-7 lead, as Rollins has been looking more comfortable running the football, but maybe a little bit too comfortable. He fumbles the football there. North Texas, they are going to recover the fumble there. So now we'll go ahead and see if North Texas can capitalize off of that, trying to get this back down to a one-score game. And they will do just that, getting it to Ivan Jenkins, who does get his second rushing touchdown of the evening. So a chance to get back into this game potentially, but they got to stop Eastern Michigan so that they can get the ball back. And I don't think that is going to do it. That just might be the dagger, as that is going to be a man that's going to be strutting his stuff into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. And listen, you just gotta play better coverage than that. One-on-one coverage. Didn't have the outside leverage. And that might be barbecue chicken, unless North Texas, they can pull some kind of miracle here. As Neely gonna drop back the pass. He's gonna try to get it out to his receiver. And I think I just might be hearing that fat lady sing in the background, because 1:18 left to play. It's a 2-score game. Eagles are going to go ahead and run out the rest of the clock. Matter of fact, also tack on a field goal so that they can make the scoreboard look a little bit sexier in their favor. And Eastern Michigan, they will also be pulling the upset palooza here, as 3 of the 4 higher ranked teams in this episode end up losing, actually. So Eastern Michigan, they are going up against Utah State in the next episode in order to go ahead and determine who will get the opportunity to be in the national championship game. So that does go ahead and bring us down to just 4 teams remaining here in the FCS playoffs. In next episode, we will see both semifinal games. We will start off the next episode with Kent State, the Cinderella in this tournament, number 20 seed. They will take on the Montana Grizzlies, the number 8 seed in this tournament, for the first slot in the FCS National Championship game. We'll see who ends up, if Kent State can continue the Cinderella story, or if Montana will have the clock strike midnight. As for the other semifinal matchup that will be featured in the next episode, we'll have Eastern Michigan, the number 14 seed in this tournament, take on Utah State. And Utah State has been on fire, blowing out both of their opponents so far in this tournament. We'll see if they can continue that, or if Eastern Michigan can also pull the upset of their own and also fight their way into a national championship, guys. So that's all I have for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me, hit that subscribe button if you do happen to be brand new. This is John J Gaming on the mic, signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.